So good morning, everyone. I didn't actually fully prepare a full-blown presentation for this morning, but what I would want to touch is I'm going to do a brief introduction for Globe Labs, go quickly through that because I doubt any one of you does not know Globe Labs by today. And then I'm going to briefly touch on why it's important, at least for Globe, and for you as a developer to look at voice. And then sort of touch on why it sort of sucks to develop on voice today, and then why we're partnering with Voxel Labs. So, as I mentioned earlier, what's my passion? My passion is finding out other people's passion and turning that into innovation, turning that into products, turning that into converting ideas into things that people can use. So that's why it's very important to me to find out what sorts of things you're looking for, what sorts of things you want to develop. Globe Labs was founded on the idea that innovation is driven not just by big companies, but by developers such as yourself. It's founded on the principle that, innovation, you can be two people working out of your bedroom and you're driving new products and new ideas. So Globe Labs was built essentially to help you out and to try and bridge the gap between your ideas and working products that you can hopefully distribute via Globe. So what we normally do is we conduct training and sponsor community events such as this. We provide developer tools and platforms such as APIs. Can you hear me? Even without the mic? Okay. So yeah, we sabotage. Anyway, so we provide developer tools and platforms for you guys to try and use or build new things. We also provide advice on market viability, and we try to shop when you have a really good idea. We try to find where in Globe can you possibly sell that idea to or actually make it into a product. So that's what Globe Labs was built to do. So just briefly, why are we interested in voice other than the fact that we are a telco and we make money off of voice calls? So I think the first one is, if you are a third-party developer today, and you're probably interested in Android development or iOS development, or iOS development, or even maybe web development, which is great, because the fact that it's very democratized and that you have access to all of these toolkits that can make you build new products or new services, all of that innovation is really good. But unfortunately for the Philippines, mobile internet penetration and smartphone penetration isn't as big as, let's say, in the US or in Europe. So there are a lot of people who here is still using a feature phone or an older phone, or is everyone on a smartphone? So who has an Android phone? Who has an iOS phone? Who is still using a Nokia phone? So there are still people out there who are still on Nokia devices who have basic internet connectivity, but primarily use their mobile devices for voice and SMS. And you are actually, the people using the feature phone or Nokia phones are actually the majority of your user base. Smartphones in the Philippines account for anywhere from 20-25% is projected for this year. So obviously, if you want to develop on that platform and you're looking at targeting the Filipino market, you're missing out on 75% of your potential customer. The other context is, yeah, voice is great, but you can always do it via SMS or USSD. I just wanted to point out that if you've ever had the experience, you will probably have the experience of you're in your office, you're walking down the street, there's an SMS alert, and then you do this. And then you slow down. And then you bump into something. But also the experience of having someone do this, they're conducting a phone call while they're doing something else. So that's sort of where, that's why we want to focus sort of on voice. It's because it's the only technology that allows you to effectively multitask. Because you can interact with something using voice, your hands are still free. You can be driving and interact with an application using voice. So that's another reason why you as a third-party developer should be thinking about, okay, how can I contextualize, how can I, there are particular needs in those situations that aren't being addressed today, and using SMS or using a mobile app, it's just gonna cut it because the functional context for you using that particular interface may not make sense. The primary use case of that is driving. The third reason is everyone's heard about Siri for the iPhone. It doesn't work in the Philippines particularly very well. So in terms of the field of, if you look at natural language processing and speech as an interaction mechanism to apps, it's still an open frontier. Nobody has cornered that space today. Nobody has a service today that says, yes, I understand Filipino, I understand Bisaya, I understand all of these other dialects. So but when you think about it, natural language processing is one of those things that's, if you get it right, it's very easy for people to adapt your particular service or technology. So it's one of those things that if you are able to craft the service or the technology around this space, that has huge potential. Not just in terms of monetary terms, but also in terms of really driving innovation forward. And then lastly, there are big ideas, and then there are ideas where you may be thinking of a website or service, or you may be thinking of just linking together two services, which is fine. The technology that we're looking at, or why voice is interesting to us, is that you can link it up to an existing service and just have it naturally extend your service. So you may think of, yeah, I have a website today, you have a portal, you have a community site, for example, or you're thinking of a startup you're thinking of a startup that is primarily either platform as a service or software as a service idea. You can always extend that to new channels to reach your potential customers using voice. Or you could literally just create an application that uses telephony by itself. So you have those two options today. Okay. So in terms of state of voice, I'm going to try and give you an overview of why our current voice over IP systems suck. So that's essentially why we're trying to redefine how you can interact potentially with Globe or with maybe even an existing voice over IP service. But in other cases, when you think about web development or mobile development, and we're pretty used to the technologies that are there. But when you start talking about voice, it's actually, there are lots of things to wrap your head around. Fortunately, with our new partnership, you won't need to understand all of this. But it's good to get a sort of a conceptual overview of what it is we're talking about. So when you talk about voice over IP, you're really talking about, setup transmission technologies. When you need to get into voice over IP, the things you need to understand are stuff like how do you set up a call between two machines? There are protocols that you need to understand to actually execute that. There's HTTP, MCCP, SIP, and so on. Then you need to understand, when you're actually talking, you need to convert those analog signals into digital format. So you need to understand your audio or media exchange. And the main, the difficulty before, or in general, is that toolkits weren't available for you to quickly, you have to understand these things before you can actually even start making a phone call. And the other sucky thing was that because these were relatively legacy protocols, you had to, in an environment when you have network address translation, media does not get exchanged efficiently between devices. So if if any of you have some background on networks, you know that IP4 has a fixed number of IP address spaces. So what most carriers and what most service providers are doing is they're really doing that across their own networks. And then when it comes to those networks, for example, if you need to wire up a building, most people use private IP addresses and then just use network address translation, which in turn makes it a sucky experience for voice over IP before. One of the common protocols that was used for voice over IP is called SIP. So if you look at our current voice over IP execution, it actually uses this particular standard. So SIP is one of those things that will get, if you talk to a hardcore voice over IP engineer, this is one of those terms that get tossed around. SIP is essentially the signaling protocol between two boxes. So if you talk about your PC or your mobile phone trying to establish a voice over IP session to Globe, it uses this particular protocol to initiate that session. If you look at the raw SIP packets, again, these are things that fortunately you do not have to think of. But if you look at the raw SIP packets, it's similar to HTTP. So most of you are familiar with web development. If you look at what the HTTP transactions look like, you're familiar with post, get, and so on and so forth. It's similar to that, except that instead of using get or post, it uses transactions like invite, app, buy, cancel, options, register. Then you have STP, which is protocol, which describes how you now stream the data or how you stream media between two PCs so that you can actually hear each other. And then finally, you have to figure out, okay, so how do you now manage the communication between two machines? And then you have to figure out what codec to use once you have that sort of signaling protocol. So normally, by the time this is actually a set of slides that I used to first introduce our voice API in 2008. By the time I get finished explaining the conceptual, then I have to introduce people to Asterisk, then you have to introduce how to program Asterisk. People's eyes are already fully glazed over. So ultimately, why are we doing this, or why are we trying to sort of expose this technology to you, or why we invited Voxio over here, is we want to make it easy for you as a developer to actually build an application, concern yourselves less with all of those technical bits, and concentrate on user experience and building your product constructs. And that's why we're sort of doing a pilot program with Voxio Labs in exploring Dropo, which is their API platform. I mentioned that it's a pilot because we haven't fully, it's in beta, we haven't fully worked out all of our commercial engagement. If you were to ask me, sir, how much, magkano ngayon yan? Magkano yung cost for the actual platform? We haven't worked all of those things and bits out. But what's important to me and why I sort of wanted to push this to you as a developer, as a community, you will actually have a voice, rather ironically, in deciding whether or not we will fully partner with Voxio. Instead of us looking at Voxio or going to them and saying, okay, let's test your platform, I'll corner a bunch of engineers and then do UAT on your platform and decide whether, yeah, it works in this case, it's working in this case. What I wanted to do is expose the technology directly to you as our developer community, and you tell us whether or not it's relevant to you. So that's the key thing that I'm looking for, or at least Globe is looking for, and we're actually asking you guys to start and build to build applications on top of this. It's not so much of a test. It's more, we wanted to share the technology already directly with you guys and see what you can come up with. So that's basically my sort of short introduction. Michelle is missing.